Hello, this is Blaster Toad again, and this video we're going to be making our cornered hallways, so connecting anything up that isn't a direct line either on the X or the Y axes. We're also going to make a quick modification to what we did in part 2. So going into your dungeon generator blueprint, going to your functions, the make X and make Y, the for loop that we have starting at 0, we just want to start that at 1. And we just want to do that on both, is set the for loop to 1. The reasoning behind that, as I wait for that to compile and save, is that if I get a new paint thing here, we've got our rooms. It's found a path. It is making a corridor here. But what it's doing right now is it's moving from bottom room to top room. It's making the corridor like that. The first block is inside the room because we're telling it to use that location. So if we have it start at 1, it starts outside the room. Yeah. So just gonna make that quick modification, and there we go. It means during our corners, we're gonna have to modify our input a little bit, but that's fine. And speaking of which, let's get to our corners. So we're gonna go back to corridors, map corridors, and we are going to not care about this bit here, but we want to copy everything past that. Like that. And Control C, Control V. There we go. And let's set it somewhere where it's got some breathing room. Now what we want to do, after checking if rooms are parallel on the X or Y, we want to check what is forward or back. So our B is forward that we just copied here. We're going to move over here and come into it. Then we want to check. So B is forward. We then want to do another branch. And we want to check if B is left or right. So we're going to go grab our B is to the right, Control C, Control V. And there we go. B is to the right. Okay, we're going to move these down some more. We're then going to do a little bit of straightening here. I'm just going to grab them all, hit Q, and move the bottom variables down some. Skip the song, that's a little bit too bassy. Okay, so we want to get our stream to a random bool. Random bool from stream. And then we're going to put that into a branch. Okay. Compiling, saving. I am going to go and reduce my room count here to something like 5, so that each time I compile it, it doesn't take so long. Okay. So what we're doing here, so we're checking if B is forward, and if B is to the right or to the left. So let's draw this out. So do another new file. We're checking. Okay, so we've got our room A. We've got room B, which is forward and to the right. Okay, so let's just label these out. So we've got A and we've got B. Okay, now we've got our rooms. We need to connect them. So we need to come out with a hallway, and then we need to come out with another hallway. Okay, but we could also get from A to B by making our hallway like that instead. So what we're doing is we're saying, okay, is B forward? In this case, yes. Is B right? In this case, yes. Randomly choose, do we go up and then right? Or do we go right and then up? Okay, so that's what we are doing. Okay, so this is our random choose hook direction. Okay. The first one we're going to do. Oh, and we're going to check if our rooms are not merged. Actually, no, we don't need to check if rooms are merged yet or not because they are not lining up to each other. So we don't need our room merging check. We want to grab room merging, delete, move all this back some. And actually, we're going to get rid of one line and we'll copy it out afterwards. Now we're going to move the end bit down. There we go. Okay. So now we are going to need an X and a Y. We're going to straighten all this off. And then we're going to do it again. Control C, Control V. Drop that right in there. We're going to move these all down. And remember, we've got the back trace coming back to here. Okay, so we want out Y and out X. Just because of naming scheme, I'm going to do out X and out Y because X, Y, Z. Have our out X there. Okay. And there we go. And now we get to make our points. We're going to give our points more breathing room on this one. And we are going to add a new point. And Control C, Control V. Promote to local variable. And we want this point corner. Okay. Gonna move this down a wee bit more. And there we go. give us lots of breathing room. Okay. So we've got our A, we've got our B, and we have our corner. So we're getting an X and Y coordinate. We are getting our X and Y coordinate from what? Oh, we can't just plug those in like that because that would be too easy. Sorry. So we want to get rid of the min-max. We don't care anymore. So our X will be, we go back to our drawing, our X will be this side. So we want BX and BX2. And so we want corners. BX is our minimum. BX2. Oh. BX there, and then a BX. Okay. And that will be our X. Our Y is going to be AY and AY2. And there we go. That's better. I'm gonna shuffle them down here. Okay. So our room on point A, so if we're going up and then right, from A we want our Y value, and we want AX2. Again, we're just gonna label our corners. We've got X and Y is right there. And we've got Y2. And we've got X2 up here. So we want to come from X2 to our X value, which will be our corner. So we want X2 is our X, our Y will be that, and then our A will be AZ. So AX2, we've already got that there. So AX2 goes in X. Out Y goes in Y. And AZ. And there is our point A. Point B, we are going to want the out X. And then we want a Y. So we want the bottom corner. So we're going along this side. So random X value, but up against this side. Beauty. So we want BY. And our corner will be out X and out Y. And then either Z. Since all of ours are on the same plane, on the same level, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to put AZ into it. This is where you choose to go one side or the other if you're doing multiple layers. You say, okay, is my corner up or is my corner down? Does it match room A or does it match room B? Okay, so what are we doing on this one? We are make corridor from A to corner, from corner to B. And our short form is hook up then right. Okay, so A to corner is the X, and from corner to B is the Y. And I'll put those in brackets so nice and easy to see. Okay. Then we're going to copy this bit. Control C, Control V. And we're going to go the other way. So now we want our X will be AX, AX2. AX, AX2. Our Y will be BY, BY2. Our point A, because we always want to travel in a positive value, right? So our point A will be from A to corner, and then from corner to B. So from A, and we want the AY2, and we want the X value. We want out X, and then AY2. On our point B, we want BX, and the Y BX, and then out Y, and then we want out X, out Y for the corner. The corner is always going to stay the same. So this is going from A to corner on the Y axis, and then from corner to B on the X axis. This is hooking right, then up. Okay. That's what's to do if B is forward of A and to the right. Now we copy all of that. Control C, Control V. And now we're saying if B is forward, but B is to the left. Okay, so we've already done this one. Now we're doing this one, and I'm going to give myself some different colors for my hallway. That is really crappy hallway lining up. That's okay. So we're going to go up, then left first. So our A will still be AY-A2 because it's forward. And our let's see. Wait, okay. Yeah, we got AX. Yeah, okay. So I did switch these up. Okay. So our first one going up and then right. We are going point A, we want to get the x. So we want to get the y of A and the x of B. We've got the x of B, the y of A, perfect. Point A is going to be AX2 and out Y. AX2 out Y. Perfect. It's already set up from our previous one. Point B, though, is going to be out X. But instead of BY, it's going to be BY2. I think I hear something around here. I'm going to be right back. It is just windy outside. Okay. So we got the A, we got the B, we've got the corner. Okay, so this is make corridor from A to corner. Right? A to corner, and that's on the x-axis. And then we want from B to corner. So, and then from B to corner. And that'll be our Y. And that is hooking left, or up, then left. Okay. Then we need to do our next one. So we're going to be using AX. We've already got that. We're going to be using BY. Okay, so we've already got AX and BY from previous ones. So our A is now going to be the out X, and we want AY. So out X, and instead of AY2, we want AY. Our B is still going to be using BX because it's forward, and out Y, so our B stays the same. Yep. And our corner stays the same. Yeah. Now we copy all four of those. Or sorry, we copy all of that. And we Control C, and we Control V. And we plug this into here. So now our B is behind. We'll have A here, and we'll have our room B. And we're going to be coming right, then down. And we're going to be coming down, then right. Okay. Ugh. So. Grab these and turn bubbles off. There we go. Okay. So, B is to the right and it's behind now. So we want to get the X So we're going this way, then this way. So we want the x of A and the y of B. We want AX, AX2, BY, BY2. Okay. Now our A, we want to use X output and AY2. So we want X out and AY2. On B, we're going to want Y out and X2, Y out and X2. Yep, top it. And our corner stays out X, out Y. Okay. Now with B still on the right, we want to come down and the right. Oh, first we're going to comment this. We're going to make corridor from A to corner on the y-axis. From B to corner on the x-axis. And that is hook right, then down. Okay. Now, next one, where B is on the, B is in the same location, we're just coming down. So our A location, we're going to want output of Y, which is going to be the AY, and we want BX. So change those up. BX, BX2 into our X. AY, AY2 into our Y. Our A side is then going to be out X, out Y and AX. We want AX for the bottom side of A. And then out Y. On our B, we're going to want out X and BY. Out X, BY. There we go. And this will go from corner to A on the x-axis. Okay, because remember we always want it to go positive, so we want to come from this corner to A, and we want to come from corner to B. And then from corner to B on the y-axis. And this is hook down, then right. Ooh. Just one more set. And then we get to do all the checkings and makings and appendings of arrays. Ugh. Okay. Are y'all having fun yet? Oh, man. Okay. So, last two. So this is now B is to the back and to the left. We've got A and we've got B. At this point, these diagrams are more for me now than they are for you. Because keeping your head straight with which side is which, for me, I need some diagrams for. Okay. So let's do left down first. So we're going to want AX and BY. AX, AX2, BY, BY2 goes into our X and Y's. A will have an AY and out X. AY and out X. Our B will have out Y and BX2. Out Y, BX2. In our corner, out X, out Y. Okay. And then we've got our other one, which we are going to be using BY or BX and AY. So let's plug those in. BX, BX2, AY, AY2. Okay. So our A. Oh, we still need to comment the up one. Okay. So our comment over here is going to be from corner to A, from B to corner. From corner to A, and that is on the x-axis. No, that's Y, right? That's Y, okay. So from corner to A on the y-axis, and then moving positive on the x, we're coming from B to corner. From B to corner on the x-axis. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Now our last one, we got BX and AYs, is that correct? BX and AYs, yes. So on our A point, we want AX, so the bottom edge, and out Y. AX, out Y into our point A. Our point B is BX2, or sorry, BY2, and out X. So out X and BY2 into point B. And then this is corner to A, B to corner. Corner to A on the x-axis, and then B to corner y-axis. And this is hook down left. Hook down, then left. There we go. And there is the 4 directions with 8 different travel methods. Or 4 directions with 2 different travel methods each to get to our corner locations. We're then gonna copy our valid endpoints. There you go, we're gonna hook them up. So again, that goes into branch, and then defaults, but less than max loops. So our second branch there goes into our setting of values. I'm just gonna do that for each one. We still aren't handling a failed corridor yet, but we also haven't had a failed corridor yet. We're going to see if that even happens before we make anything to cover it. And I'm just going to make sure this last one is plugged into the right location by redragging. There we go. Okay, so all of our checks are in place now. Yay, making corridors. And this doesn't even handle if you had 2 levels with stairs and things like that. So, yeah. So we want A to corner. We want point A to corner, but that is a X. An X, perfect. And then we want a Y. And now instead of setting tiles, like we do on these ones, we are going to append tiles. So we're going to go to our local variables, get tiles. We are going to append. So this way we are adding our output array to the tiles array. And the reason we want to do that now is that, before we do that, we want to clear tiles. We're going to clear tiles. Because we don't want... It should never come through and make that and then fail and try to add again, but just in case... Yeah, just in case, we are going to clear it. You know what? No, it won't happen. I'm going to be confident in my code here. I'm going to not bother clearing it. We're just going to append. And then copy paste, add that on past our make Y. Okay. So X, we want A to corner. Y, we want corner to B. Point corner. Point B. I'm just going to drag around my variables to reorder them a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then, after we've added those sections, we need to do one more thing. So we're going to get our tiles again. Nope, not point corner. Tiles. And then we want to add. And we need to add our corner point. Because when we change this from start at 0 to start at 1, we are going in between the points. So I'll just get a new document again. So if we have room A and room B, and we've got our hallway. Okay. This is a point. This is a point. And this is a point. We're not going from here to here. We are going to the spaces in between. We're not doubling up a floor tile here. But that also means that we're not making the corner tile. That's why we have to manually add the corner tile after running the make X, make Y functions. Yeah. Oh, we're going to go back to our map corridors. And we're going to copy that, go to the next one. Okay, and our next one is A to corner on Y, corner to B. We want corner to B on our X. And then we want A to corner on our Y. And that is why we commented those sections in that kind of way. You know. Actually, I'm not going to copy two of those. I'm just going to do these one at a time so that I don't get them all puzzled up here. Okay. Add that there. And this one, our X, we want A to corner. The point A to corner. Good. And our Y, we want B to corner. So B to corner. So I just selected, hit X or Q there to straighten them. Next one. We want on our Y, A to corner, and then corner to B on X. So from corner to B, point B, that's our X. And then our Y is A to corner. Y, we want A to corner. Y is A to corner again. Y, point A to point corner. And our X is B 2 corner. Yay, only 3 more. For extra credits, do we want to also generate the corridors from a different point? Because we could do that. Corner to A for X. I'm gonna switch those. Hit straighten. We got corner to A. And then our Y is corner to B. Y corner to B. Okay. Our X is B. Wait. X B2 corner. Oops. Point B to point corner. Our Y is corner to A. Corner to A. Okay. And one more time. Okay, so corner to A. And then our Y is B2 corner. There we go. Now if we compile and we save, we should see corners. And more different corners. And the same corner. And then a little straight section. And let's make more rooms. Let's try 15 rooms. And then we've got corners, 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 a couple straight sections, more corners. There we go. We are connecting all the things. Ugh. Okay. Whew. How long are we into this? Oh, we're only 48 minutes. Okay. I was expecting this to be like a 2-hour section. But yeah, we got our corners. It's a lot of repetitive things there, so it just feels longer. But anywho, now that we have our corners generating, we are going to, our corridors, which, yes, we just made the corners of them, but we want to have, when something comes in here, we go from a room to a corridor, I want a doorway. So, we need to go back to our dungeon generator, and we're going to go to our spawn tiles. And we're going to take all the spawning that we have, and we're going to leave it exactly how it is. Gonna straighten some things up here. But what we're going to do is, before we do that, we want to do a sequence. Do that second. What we're going to do first is for our corridor tiles. So we're going to get corridor tiles for each loop. And then we're going to do a 4-direction compare again. So we'll grab our spawn walls. just gonna plug it in up here. Ooh, that's getting kind of crowded. So we're gonna move it up further. We're gonna call this spawn doors. We're gonna plug that in there. We're gonna plug that in there. And we do want to reference floor tiles. The difference is now we want the floor tiles to be true. Compile and save. That should, see, that is closing off our doorway right there. Perfect. So we'll just replace that with door reference. But what this is doing is it's going through each of our corridors, and then it's saying, hey, I'm a corridor piece here. If I look to the Y direction, so if I look right, the Y plus 1, is there a floor tile? Yes, okay, place a door. So we're then going to replace our wall there with another static mesh component. We're going to do a instant static mesh. I'm going to call this one doors. Going to replace that with walls and doors. I want the mesh to be my door. SM door. And let's see if the rotations are correct, or whether I need to rotate my mesh. Rotations look to be correct. So now when there's a hallway, there's a door, there's corners. Gonna slow down a bit. There's a doorway. We're in another room. There's another doorway with corners near it. Got another doorway. Comes out. Oh yeah. We've got our outer corners spawning. We've got inner corners spawning. Nice. Okay, now let's see if we get any dropped corridors. Okay, so let's try... Well, we're going to save everything first. File, save all. Okay. Then we are going to try for 50 rooms. Going to give it a moment to generate. And then we're going to see with larger numbers if... Oh, did it already? It already went. Okay. I thought that was going to hang up. So we didn't get the print screen of failed corridor. We're not getting any infinite loops here. Let's try 150 rooms. We're freezing up for a moment. Waiting for it to generate. I'm going to take a sip of the tea that I brewed before I started this video, so it's now 40-minute-old, 53-minute-old tea sitting on my counter. Just barely drinkably warm. Okay, so it generated. And we're not getting any... Oh! We did get corridor failed. We got a few failed corridors. However, we are not getting any dropped, or we're not getting infinite loop problem. Okay, let's see if with those failed corridors. Okay, so we've got weird thing happening here with a bunch of doors. So what is happening there is that the corridor pieces are intersecting. So this is one long corridor. And then we're getting 2 there and another 1 here. We're getting some weirdness there, which we can fix. But I'm seeing that all the rooms are connected so far. Yeah, we're getting some really long double corridor type things. Okay. All these rooms are connected though. Okay, so even though we are getting failed corridors, just gonna continue following this path for a bit. Everything is still connected. But still completely pathable. Okay. So we are getting failed corridors, but that's okay because we can still path to them. So what we're gonna do is change our X and Y a little bit, I think. I'm just gonna think on this for a second and sip some tea. Yeah, we're gonna change our X and Y functions a little bit. So we're gonna change this to a more reasonable 10 rooms. We're gonna get a new seed a couple times. Okay, so with a smaller number, we aren't failing, but we're still getting that, which we don't want. Okay. And then these are really close to each other. So we're going to do a couple things here, I think. How do I want to do this? Do I want to just drop that or no? As you know, having branching corridors could be cool. Okay. So what I want to get rid of is I want to get rid of the double here. But I want to allow it to run into each other like that. So on our X and Y functions, I do believe. Is that where I want to do it? Yeah, I think on the X and Y functions. Okay. So on the X and Y functions, after we have completed making while we're making floor tiles, we are going to check if it's contained. So array contains items. want our floor array, floor tiles. And we want this not branch. What we're doing is we're only going to add a corridor tile if it is not already a floor tile. Okay, and what that is to fix is this group of doors right here. Because we've got a corridor coming through here to the next room, and it's making a bunch of corridor tiles here. We don't want any of those. So if a corridor tile is already in the floor list, we're going to not add it. Oh. This one. So only continue if our next item is not found in the floor tiles array. Cool. Compile and save. And then... and nothing? It doesn't do... dick? Oh, because I only did that on one. Okay. So make Y... I now need to do the same thing in make X. We're just going to Control C over here to make X. Control V. Put the exact same logic in there. And we are beautiful. Awesome. So now, if we go back and look, it's still doing it. Compile and save. That's make X. It's only adding tiles if they are not a floor tile. And make Y. So does it contain? No. Then continue. Yeah, it's still happening. Okay. Why is that still happening? That shouldn't be... floor tiles are all being done... Yeah, so it adds floor tiles, and then it makes corridors. So that should do it. I'm getting those, and I'm appending them. Yep. Okay, so just in case it's something funny with the editor, because it looks like it should work, we're going to save everything, close the editor, and open the editor back up again. ToadNet dungeon generation, where are you? ToadNet dungeon generator, there we go. And no, it's still doing the exact same thing. we don't want to print. I want to draw debug point, and that is 100s in size, and that is horrible pink, lasts for 500 seconds or until we regenerate it, and is drawn at our vector times our scale plus actor location. And then that way I don't have to set my actor to world 000. So these aren't in a room. Is that bridging then? Nope, those aren't two rooms together. Okay. Let's print for each corridor location then. You should see the path of... So that one comes straight in. Weird. Really bloody weird. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on Y. Compile and save. Yeah, so it's definitely drawing through that area. That bit is not a corridor. Oh! Is this a different room then? Not sure. So this is part of a room. That's not corridor. If I move this back to 5... Wait. 4 rooms. Okay, so 4 rooms. Okay, so this is going through here, and that area doesn't exist yet. And then a room is being spawned on top of it. Yeah, our 5th room is being spawned on top of it. Okay. Which, you know what, I don't actually mind, because it makes something interesting looking. But it is giving us a double hallway there, and it's landing on this hallway. What I think I want to do is going to our spawn tiles. I'm going to add another sequence node. I'm going to move everything down 1. And the first thing I do when we spawn the tiles, I can do a for each loop. And that for each loop will be floor tiles. I'm going to break link because I don't want that going over there. So for every floor tile, we're going to get corridor tiles. I'm going to get a copy. Or no, we're going to find. We're then going to do valid index. So this is very similar to our contains. So we're just saying, hey, this here, find it in there. Okay, did it give me a valid index back? Yes or no. The reason I'm doing this instead of our contains array that we've done for all our other checking is that this way I'm just going to pull off here and do a remove index. And plug our array straight in there. What this is doing is it's going through all the floor tiles and removing overlapping corridors. Loop through floor tiles, remove any overlapping corridors. Okay. The other thing I want to do then is I want to do a new variable here in our map settings. And it's going to be of type Boolean, so I'm just going to duplicate one of my Booleans. I'm going to call this ignore corridors. Okay, and we're going to give that a tooltip, just so it's a little bit less ambiguous. So over here on the side, tooltip, should room spawning ignore the existence of room tiles. Okay, we're then going to go to our find next location. Okay. And to make sure options are available. Test the array. Okay. So the other thing we want to do here is we want to do a for loop. Okay, so we're going to do this down here. So for loop, our first index will be 0, our others will be room max size times room max size minus 1. Well, actually, before I do this, let's just compile, save, and see if that fixed our... Okay, so at 4, we have this being built through. At 5, the corridor is still being built through, but then we remove those corridor tiles so we don't get it spamming the room with doors. I'm still going to come back and fix the double hallway issue. But we're going to do that in a second. First, we're going to take care of the rooms here. Okay. We want room max size times room max size minus 1 for loop. We then want to do a divide and a modulo. So if this looks familiar, that's because this is our setup for just making the room's floor grid. Right? So when we make the floor and just make a big rectangle, this is what we do. And then we're going to make int vector out of the x and the y. And we are going to get the new location yeah, we're setting new location over here. So I then want to get the new location. Oh, not from there. I want the local variable, new location. Get new location. I'm just going to split that and put the Z in here. And then for each of these, we're going to do a branch. We're going to do a contains, not a map contains. We want a contains item. Contains item of corridor tiles. And this for loop, we want to change it to a for loop with break. For loop with break. Because once we determine one way or the other, we can stop. We want index there. There, beautiful. And what this is doing is it's getting our floor area, or making a floor area of the maximum possible size. And in that floor area, is there any corridor tiles? So this way, if we uncheck ignore corridors, then it can do this check for the room and say, oh, hey, there is a corridor here. I should try to find a new location. So, is there a corridor? If there is a corridor, we want to set searching to true and valid to false. And then we want to break. And we're going to add some reroutes to make that look a little prettier. Come down here. Gonna skip the song. And then we want this off. Ignore corridors. Branch. If ignore corridors is true, we just want to continue as per usual. If ignore corridors is false, we want to go through this test. And that is going to we're going to go C for comment. Test for overlapping corridors. There we go. And we're going to set ignore corridors to true. And if I do compile and save, our setup should look exactly the same. Yeah. But if I tell it to not ignore corridors, then this room should move. And it just disappears. Why do you just disappear? We set searching to true. should continue searching through. Okay, let's do this first. And then we'll do this. Oh, right. That's the exact problem right there. Because I didn't have anything coming off true, so if ignore corridors was true, it would never do anything. That's my problem. So yeah, it's just order of operations. I had to have this after the branch, not before. And then if we compile... Ooh, this one's taking a while. Come on. Yeah, anytime now. Don't die on me, game. Not long waiting for that. I'm going to check my emails. Come on, anytime. Do not fail out on me. Oh, I screwed this up. Okay. I don't have anything happening on the completed. I only have it failing right now. I don't allow it to succeed. We just gotta wait for this infinite loop to end. And then on completed, I have to... So yeah, I have to set searching false. And then if I find something, set searching true. On completed, if searching is true or false, do a thing. So yeah, right now I've got an infinite loop because it's never being told to stop searching off this pin here. So that's the problem. And to save time, I'm going to force kill Unreal Engine. They should have a not responding editor. There we go, we're just gonna kill it and open it up again. Yay, infinite loops. Okay, so on our X and Y, yes, so we're gonna get rid of the debug on our X and Y. So our X and Y are working as intended. Okay, under map settings, do we have an ignore corridors option? We do. Okay, let's go to our corridor, or no, room, find next location. Oh, cool, most of this is still here. So off faults, we want to come here. And then we want to set, we're gonna set valid. So if ignore corridors is true, we're gonna come up and do what we used to do. Okay? However, if set corridors is false, we are going to set valid to false. No, we're going to set valid true. And then over here, we're going to set valid false. Then when this is done, branch. And we want the local variable valid. So get valid. So if valid is still true, we want to do this. Well, actually, we'll just move this down. And we'll just call that complete successfully. That's not how I spell that, I don't think. Complete good. That's not how you spell good either, but I'm just gonna leave it. Oh man. Okay, so now this should check for that. Otherwise, we want to set searching to true so that it continues searching. That should solve our infinite loop. Compile, save, and now this one here, if I go back to 5 rooms, we should still have this one, yeah. And this is the one that's being overlapped. So now if I turn ignore corridors off, this room should move. Okay, and again we get it going to nothing. So we set valid. If any of these potential room sizes contain a corridor, we set valid false and break. If valid remains true, so if there's no corridors in the way, it does this. If there are corridors in the way, it continues searching. Which it should then loop through that, yeah. Is this just a bad seed? If I get a new seed. Yep, that was a bad seed. But it takes longer to test it. Because it's now testing against more things. But yeah, that was just a bad seed. If I allow merging, and I get some new seeds, they take longer to test. Oh, come on, you've got so many directions you could go that have no corridors. Oh, I am an idiot. Okay. We're testing from 0, 0, 0. We need to test from the new location. No, we have to test from... Yeah, we have to test from new location. We want Z in, but then we need to add these. There we go. Perfect. Compile. Come on. Yeah, you can do it. And then now, it still does the same damn thing. If I turn ignore corridors on, it lets it spawn fine. If I turn ignore corridors off, it hangs and does that. Why? We want to see if the new location, because new location's not being set yet. So we want to break this value, because new location gets set down here. So right now, new location's 0, 0, 0, so it's as if we didn't make the change at all. Order of operations, what comes first? Now if I compile and save, that compiles faster. And if I turn ignore corridors is off, nice. Ignore corridors on. This one generates the exact same either way. Okay. But if we get a new seed where it looks like something may have intersected, come on. There we go. This one should show some intersections, and I turn ignore corridors off. There we go, because it overlaps right there. So ignore corridors off, it now has to branch away from it. Beautiful, okay. Now, the next thing is to not allow our corridors to run parallel. Or if they are to intersect, stop them. So if I go back to ignore corridors, you'll see like we get these ones here where it creates this junction. I want it to, if it comes in and hits it from whatever direction, it stops. So in this case, where's our XYZ? XYZ is that way. Okay. So this one coming out from the Y would go through to here. And then I think it came to this room, and then this room, and then this room would come back and it would stop here instead of going through. Okay? And we're going to put that on another Boolean. We're going to have yet another Boolean. So after ignore corridors, we're going to duplicate branching because it doesn't have a tooltip on it. Duplicate branching. And truncate corridors. And our tooltip is going to be if corridors intersect, stop generation. There we go. So this is going to be on our X and Y. We're going to go on our Y first. So we're going to say, okay, does this here, is there already a corridor there? So we're going to do another contains not a map, a contains array item, contains item from an array. We want corridor tiles. Then going to do a branch. And we're going to do this after so that it will... No, so what I want here is not if it contains, but so I want to do a compare here. So where is our test relative location? Test relative location, testing from corridor tiles. From our new value. Now we need to do this 4 times. So what I want to do is so that corridors don't run parallel to each other, is that I'll test for the new location after setting it. Okay, so there will be one intersect. So here it will come, okay, yep, yes, no. The problem would be then that this one comes out. So we'd have to stop that afterwards. Okay, we can do that. Yeah. So I'll want a for loop. And we only want this to happen if branch truncate corridors is true. Then we want for 3 items. We then need a select. And we want 4 inputs. Okay, 4 inputs. So if x1, y1, x -1, or y -1 end up intersecting, then we want to stop this generation. Okay, so if truncate corridors is true, we want to, if it's false, we do nothing. If it is true, we need a new local variable. Hit intersecting. Or no, we'll just call this stop. Stop. And we want to set stop. Okay, so stop should be false unless any of these are hit, in which case stop should be true. And we are going to switch out the for loop for a for loop with break. For loop with break. Because this way, when that happens, we can have it stop immediately. There we go. And then we want to, on our output, have stop as well. Just like that. And then we're going to copy this. Control C, go to our X, Control V, paste it in. Right click our stop, create local variable. Replace our for loop with a for loop with break. There, that plugs in there. I didn't plug in the break on the last one, did I? No, plugs. Oh, we want to get stop. And then plug in stop. And if this is true, we want to break. And then same thing on Y. If this is true, we want to come back and break. And there we go. Actually, no, we don't want to do that. We want to come off completed. We want to do a branch. Because this could fire a couple times. And then we want if stop true, break. And I'll go back to X and make that change as well. Completed, branch, break that link, is stop true, if so, go to the break. And we need to put in our reference value that I didn't plug in. I'm bad at that. Compile and save. Apparently I don't have it on the other one either. Just plugging in the reference value to our checks. Cool. So, truncate corridors should cause something to happen there. Let's see. It comes in and then it stops generating further. What we want to do then is go to our generate corridors. Corridors, map corridors. On all of our corners, we need to do a branch after our append. And if that is false, do the next section. And then same thing after the next section. If stop is false, then add the corner piece. There we go. And just have to make that modification a bunch of times. So I'm just going to give myself space. Yay. Look at how many times we have to make that modification. However, it will give us more control over our dungeon generation. More control and more options are good. That's what I tell myself, so I'm not like, oh, I did a thing that caused more work and there's no real reason for it. No, more options are good. I did it because goodness. Alt clicking will disconnect a pin. That's what I did there. So if I alt click, it breaks the link. Come into each of these, boom, like that. And then the next one. Next one. I swear I'm not just trying to pad this out into a 2-hour video. I think this adds value. That is why I'm doing it. If you feel these sections do not add value, you have the option to stop the video whenever you feel like you got everything you need out of it. And again, for those of you, well, if you've gotten this far, you're probably in it till the end. But for anybody who's watched this far and is just shaking your head at it, it's like, hells no. You can get all the project files by subscribing on Patreon. The entry point is really low, like a couple bucks a month. I think it's $2 a month is my minimum entry, and then $5 next step up, where you get access to some additional chat on the Discord. So a priority chat channel where you can ask questions and make requests. That chat channel is also the only one that I have notifications sent to me on. So if you put a request in there, I'll get notified of that request right away and can answer as soon as I've got a spare minute, instead of waiting for me to see it with the rest of the general public. Okay. Okay, just 2 more times. Ooh. We did set stop to false by default, right? We'll go check that in a second. Okay. There we go. If any of those fail out, it stops the next part. Compile and save, and then we go back to our X and Y. Stop is by default false, good, and is being set false, and is only being set true if something is run there, and only if truncate corridors is on. Okay, compile, save. So we should now not have a stubby bit here. But if we turn off truncate corridors, we get that intersecting. So we can now truncate intersecting corridors. We can tell the rooms to spawn in amongst corridors, so we get more interesting rooms with multiple connections, like this one here with 3, which would otherwise only have 2 connections. And then you can set rooms and blah 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 and all the rest of it, and all of our tiles are now spawning in properly, like our doors and walls and corners, without being spammed across the spots they're not supposed to be. So that is it. Dungeon generator. I can't think of anything else that we need in it. At this point, because we are coming up on an hour 50 minutes, I'm not going to go through the alternate way of spawning the corridors. Well, it spawns the corridors the same, but instead of doing it after each room, it waits till all the rooms are generated and then spawns corridors. But then you only get from room to room to room to room. You don't get interesting intersections like this. I may do that as a follow-up video. I may not, because I'm not sure if it adds any other value than just potential learning source. It's not something we actually need here. But yeah, there's different ways to generate the floors. Instead of, this is a marching method. If anybody asks you how your procedural generation works, it's marching. It goes from one room to the next room to the next room. Whereas the other way we could do it is we could say, okay, in this space, put so many rooms, and then connect them together, and it breaks up the space. So that would be a quad tree type 1 that is gone over in an Unreal, one of Epic's official videos. They have a quad tree generation. That is actually where I got this corridor stuff from. But I prefer the marching generation, as I feel it feels a little bit more organic. The only downside is you can't give it bounds. Whereas the quad tree one, you could say, okay, I only want things to spawn in this square or this rectangle. So I may, now that we have the corridors, which are the pain in the ass bit, and we can reuse that in the function it is, I may go through the other generation in that. I may not. But yeah, that would be a follow-up video, because for now, we've got a functioning dungeon generator. What I do plan on doing, though, is I want to make a couple tile sets for this, for the Patreon folks, just to show how you could put in different tiles. So the low poly sci-fi style hallways here, I will have a link to in the YouTube description. Any additional tiles I want to do, like a rock dungeon type thing, and maybe like a muddy cave type tile set, those would be included with the Patreon files if you download the project. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and your headache isn't too strong after going through all of this. But yeah, procedural dungeons. They are a lot to wrap your head around, but once you've got it and you've gone through the random generation and all that, then hey, it's great. The other nice thing is, I know I mentioned it in part 1, but to save this, you only need the seed. Well, and these values. So you need to save the seed and these values, but you don't have to save everything else here. So if I'm gonna copy that seed. If I change the seed a couple times, so I've got something completely different now, and then I go and paste the old seed back without changing any other variables, I get back to that original room. So it's really easy to save stuff. You just have to save these map setting variables, including the seed. So yeah, there you have it. Hope you've had, if not fun, an educational time. Because I know for myself, some of this stuff is just banging my head against the wall until it works. Especially with the corridors of, okay, which side do I have to come from to what point, to what other point, and yeah. But hey, we got it, and the blueprints look fairly clean and readable for the most part. Yeah. That's it. Bye.